Just to start with, Sean, can I get your reaction to Frank Lampard's departure from Chelsea today?
Yeah, sort of an up and down time. I appreciate with results, but generally I thought it was a very short time ago. He was a manager being considered to have done a very good job. I think there's a bit of weight put on you when they spent a lot of money. But what I know about, or in my knowledge of teams, it's still difficult. Even when you spend money, I've talked to him many times about stretching the finances, but it's still difficult. Even when you spend money, you've got to form a unit and a team, and I think that can take time. And it looked to me like there was been some good work done there over Frank's time in charge. And like I say, a very short time ago, it seemed very positive about the work that was done there as well. So the other side of that, of course, is my demands at Burnley are about staying in the division. Their demands at Chelsea and clubs like Chelsea are about winning things and being at the top of divisions. So I suppose part of it is that's the nature of them type of jobs. But I must reiterate, I thought he was doing a good job, and I think a lot of managers would think the same. And I think it was a very short time ago that the media were with him, and including that, and thinking he was doing a good job. And the other thing is a young English manager. We want to see, obviously, across the board, managers doing well, but particularly English managers, because I think it's good for the game here. Not for any other reason, just because I think it is good for the game here.
I appreciate your situation is different, Sean, because of the time that you've spent at Burnley, but with your contract running to the summer of 2022, and you see something like that happening to Frank, do you want more of a commitment by extending your deal?
No. I think every manager's situation is different. I've never had too many contract situations here, other than agreeing them, of course. No, I've got no problem with that situation. I think managers' contracts can be varied on different formats anyway. They're not always that strong in the sense that, a run of bad results and it changes. So, there's it is a contract, it is a bit of paper with details on it and signed by everyone, but equally, them contracts can get ripped up very quickly if you're not doing your job, or deemed to be not doing your job, which is getting enough results, or whatever the results are, considered to make it a success. Here, it's slightly different. I've been here a long time. They've judged the successes here differently, of course, because of the size of the club and trying to be in the Premier League and then staying in the Premier League. So, but no, back to the contract, I've got no problem with my current situation.
Also, a slight difference, though, as well, in so much as you got new owners. Are you kind of having to build up new levels of trust with them, or does what has gone before with the previous owners also count for you as well?
I presume it counts in the sense that, most people around here felt we've done a good job collectively over the years I've been here. So it counts in the sense that I think as a new ownership group, I'm sure they're aware of that, and the job that's been done, not just by me, by the way, by lots of people. I'm sure they'll be aware of that. Relationships build over time, quite obviously. It's been probably tougher here because of the COVID situation and all the rules, and trying to have meetings, as in face-to-face meetings. We've had Zoom meetings, of course, Zoom calls and the like. But yeah, I think relationships are formed over time. They're not formed over an immediate moment in time. It's many different moments that come, many different conversations about many areas of the club, and that often is the thing that leads to a relationship building.
Have you been able to have any face-to-face meetings over the last few days? And as such, any progress in terms of adding to the squad as well before that deadline?
No, so no face-to-face meetings. I still haven't met the ownership group and the chairman properly, if you like, or formally. But yeah, through calls and stuff, yeah, that's been going on. What was the second part of your question, sorry?
That's a good question as well. In terms of progress as well, just thinking, is any progress being made in terms of adding to the squad?
Oh, that was it, the famous question about players. That's probably why it went out of my mind. No, I don't think there'll be a lot of news at the moment. Varying situations we've kept an eye on. But there's nothing imminent. The other side of it, of course, as we all know, sometimes things come out out the blue, and we have to be ready and wary of that, and ready and flexible to that thinking, rather, about if something does change and it suits us, then of course we'll look at that, and I'll go to the powers that be and say, look, this is something that's come available, we'll be able to do it.
Nathan Collins at Stoke is a name that keeps cropping up, so is that one of those things that could possibly see you turning to the board and saying, we would like to make this happen?
I think the truth is, I think over my 8 years, I should just make a list of every single player that's ever been put into us, and then the ones that actually come to us. So I think that'll be an interesting list to read over the 8 years. So I've been linked with many players, and so is this football club.
Just before we look at Villa, I mean, just looking at the fixture schedule that you have as well, and what happened at Chelsea, obviously doesn't give you much time to work out what Thomas Tuchel, who appears to be going in there, is going to do against you guys at the weekend, does it? When they've got Wolves on Wednesday, so you don't really get too much of a look at them.
Well, I don't know what'll happen because I don't know with the quarantine rules and stuff. Will he have to come in and wait? I don't know. Whether you have to lock down. I don't know what the rules are for that sort of thing. So whether he'll be in allegedly or in place actually working, I don't know. Unless I've missed the news there, I'm not sure there is an actual appointment. Is there? I don't know.
Not yet, no.
Yeah, so therefore, in theory, if he is appointed, suggestions are that that's looking like it, then I don't know the rules for him coming in. And then, of course, the rules for, then the next step is to work with the team. So I think we've just got to be, flexible-minded for what could occur with that situation. But as I said, I don't know anything more than what you've told us about the possible appointment of the next manager.
Are you able to focus one game at a time, though, Sean, when you've got Villa, Chelsea, then City and Brighton so close together? Midweek, weekend, midweek, weekend? Yeah,
we've had a busy period lately, and we've still got a busy period coming. That's worked better for us in the fact that we're getting bodies fit again. I thought the team were excellent yesterday, and the players showed their hunger and desire, the ones who are coming back to get that true fitness. I think we just stay focused on the next game. It's just been something I've spoken about many times. I think the players do. I think the way that the staff operate, we like to do that. We have to be aware of the games coming, quite obviously, but we don't really overthink them. We've always thought the next one's the most important one, and I think our focus has always been on that, and that served us well. So we're not going to go away from that just because it's a busy period. We've had busy periods at numerous times since I've been at the club, so we just focus on the next game.
Obviously, you faced Villa not so long ago as well, so goalless draw on that occasion. What are you expecting this time around?
Well, they're a side that's, they invested a lot over the last couple of years, but it's sort of beginning to, I think the management team, they've got a look about the way they want it to operate, and the players look like they've got that as well, different connections on the pitch that are formed. So I think they're turned into a good outfit. I think the fact they stayed up last season gave them a big lift and probably, affected things as well. And, a twist of fate, actually, I think was the VAR goal that wasn't, or was, whichever way you look at it, that kept them up. And then they've sort of built on that. So fair play to them. They're a good outfit, without a doubt. And I think, the thing is we're coming back to a strength in our group as well. And I think, we're beginning to look like what we feel that this group is. And that's a very committed, hard-working group of players, and also with some quality. And we like our group as well. So as much as we're aware that Aston Villa have had a really strong start to the season and continue to deliver good performances, then I think we're getting that strength in depth again. So, we're in a good place ourselves.
We see that strength as well with the number of clean sheets. And just further to that, and looking at Nick Pope's form at the moment and wondering what more he needs to do to be classed as England's number one. I make it 7 clean sheets out of 11 and a half games, including that 45 minutes he played for England against Ireland, and just 5 goals conceded in that time.
Well, the thing he has to do is get the manager to pick him. That's what he has to do. I can't pick his team. That's his job. It's nothing to do with me. So, I can only vouch for thinking that Pope is a top keeper. But I see him every day. I've worked with him for a long time, and he's been he's a joy to work with for Billy Mercer and for us as well. But I certainly can't pick the international team, and nor would I. It's up to the manager. But
what do you feel? I mean, managers always look for room for improvement. What more do you see him being able to improve within his game?
I think it's a package that the manager looks for, any manager. He'll have the reasons for what his thoughts are on picking or not picking. Gareth, that is. That's not for me to decide. I know what he can do. I know what he's about. I think he's a top keeper. He continues to improve, not only with his general game, but obviously his experiences that he's had as well, and the experience he has with us. I'm more focused on what he does here, and then it's for others to decide how good they think he is, and whether he should play for England is obviously down in the end. It's to Gareth.
Thanks, Sean.
Thanks.
Thanks, Vinny. Rebecca next.
Excuse me.
Hi, Sean. How are you? It's been a good week. Oh, sorry. It's been a good week last week for you, beating Liverpool and obviously beating Fulham in the FA Cup yesterday. How are the squad feeling?
Yeah, I think I mentioned after the Liverpool game they were talking about belief. We'd never really lacked belief. There's times when we've had stretched. We were stretched, as a group with the injury situation, and that puts it puts a bit more weight on the players that are playing to deliver. Now we're getting stronger again, so I don't think there's been a belief thing. So the feeling in the group, my point is, there's always been belief. I think the sharpening up of performances, I think the detailing of performances is what's got us the last two results. I thought we were at least decent, if not better than that at Anfield. And obviously we all know a tough place to go, despite them being questioned. They're still a top group of players, top manager, top football club for that matter. And then we went down to Fulham, and I was super pleased with that because players who've been out a while haven't been playing regular. I thought they looked really sharp, really fit, and most of all, very motivated, to deliver a good performance. So two different really important results for different reasons, and pleasing that we had so many players who haven't always been there, fit and well and active. So it's been a good week for us, or the good crossover a week from last Thursday.
And you're up further in the table now. Do you find your team talks becoming a little bit more intense to make sure you stay there as we draw further towards the end of the season?
No, not really. I think the players trust how we work here and the staff, and it's likewise with us and the players. So I think my team talks stay pretty level in the truth and the matter of what we try and do and what we try and achieve and the results we want. I tend to be pretty solid and pretty steady with my thoughts on how the team can produce results, and a lot of trust in them and pride in how they go about it as well. So no, it's not changed too much. I think we've earned the right to get back on a good run of results and the sort of present position. A lot of work to be done yet, but I think we've deserved to get to where we've got to, especially after a very, very tough start. People sometimes get 2 points in 8 games we had, and then you look at the points return in the last number of games, then actually we're a very, very strong run of form. So we want that to continue, but I was just alluding to it there. It is one game at a time mentality. That served us well, so the next one's the most important one.
And you take on Aston Villa Wednesday night. What do you think has been the key change in their form this season compared to last season?
Well, I think sometimes there's a little bit of you gain experience from last season, the goods, the bads, of a season in the Premier League. So their players will be a little bit wiser. The money they've spent on the players they've spent and how they've integrated that. Because, we just mentioned earlier, it's all right having money, you can spend it, but it does take time to format a team. And I think the experiences of their group last year, and then maybe just a sprinkling of new faces has kind of worked for them so far this season. I think experience in the Premier League is an important factor. Players who haven't played so many times in the Premier League, they get a season under their belts, and that can affect the group as well. And of course, some good signings as well. In amongst their many signings, there have been some really good ones. They're doing a good job. They're going about the season in a good manner, and we've got to make sure that we're delivering ourselves. But I do think we're getting stronger. Our performance levels, our group, the injury list that we had is evaporating, and they're getting stronger now. So back to that sort of true Premier League fitness, and that gives that competitive edge, I believe, to our group as well. So, we're aware of other teams and what they're doing, but we equally focus. In fact, we focus more on ourselves and what we can do. And
you touched on it there, the injury list is getting smaller. Do you have any fresh injury updates for us?
Only Charlie Taylor's still touch and go. Robbie Brady had a knock. So we'll see how that is. They're the main two. Josh Brown has got a little knock. Johan's okay, which was good. He come through the game. We made a couple of changes at the end of the game as well to protect a couple yesterday, because obviously we got that nice cushion of 3 goals. So, hopefully everyone's going to be close for selection, I should say, with the Villa game coming up.
Thank you, Sean. That's everything from me.
Thank you.
Thanks, Rebecca.